Hey everyone, and welcome back to another one of S&T STEPS education videos. So today we wanted to take beginners on a bit of a journey through weightlifting. So obviously weightlifting is something we find a lot of people are intimidated by starting on weights or starting in a weight room, or just don't understand where to start. So we wanted to cover off on a few of the key things that you need to know before starting weightlifting to make it safe and effective. So the first things we wanted to cover is just a few safety pointers. So the first one being form over weight. Getting your form correct or correct for you is going to be something that's vital before you start increasing the weight you're lifting. Don't worry too much about going heavy or how much weight you're lifting to start. Really focus on getting the form correct. There's plenty of online guides, or you can hire a trainer or attend some fitness classes to learn how to utilize correct form, but don't start loading up weights on equipment or machines until you understand how to use them correctly. Following on for this, it's always best to start light. Even if your few sets or your few training programs, you're starting a bit lighter than you should, this is going to be better to make sure your form's right, and it's going to be much safer starting light. You can always build up from there, but this is the key starting point. Another one, listen to your body. If you're doing an exercise and it doesn't quite feel right in any of your joints, or you're getting pain during an exercise set, it's best to stop and maybe go back and look at your form, or ask someone to monitor you and just make sure you're doing it right. Know your limits is another key thing. Don't be afraid to ask for help. If you need help from a spotter or something like that, generally weight rooms, people are pretty open and friendly to spotting other people, as long as you approach them at an appropriate time, like not when they're doing a set, and just approach them in a polite manner. Another key thing to do is just tracking your weight. This way, week to week, you can make sure you're not starting too heavy or finishing too light. So following on from this, just some essential equipment that most people utilize in any sort of resistance training program. You're going to need barbells and plates, dumbbells, weight benches for exercises like bench press. There are a lot of machine-based equipment, but a lot of the activities you can do on the machine-based equipment can be mimicked with free weights, and free weights are generally more beneficial than machines anyway. But for beginners, if you do have access to machines, they can be a much safer way of starting out. Also, comfortable clothing and shoes. You want clothing that allows for freedom of movement, and shoes that are supportive, flat-soled, and have good traction on them. So when building your routine, you want to focus on what we refer to as compound lifts. So these are just exercises that work across multiple joints in the body. So exercises that we utilize in all programs are squats, deadlifts, so variations of both of those. A bench press and a military press are a variation of that. These compound movements utilize the most muscles rather than isolated exercise, which just utilize generally one muscle or one muscle group. Compound exercises generally utilize multiple muscle groups across the body. So your program should be built around these compound movements, and then you can include isolation from there. But generally speaking, for beginners, multiple compound movements are going to be the best way to build a program. Generally, for beginners who are just looking to build a bit of muscle and get started in weight training, we normally look at 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions. This is a good way to get hypertrophy, which is just a way of building muscle. Normally, you want to sort of time your rest between sets to make sure you're not under or over resting. For 8 to 12 reps, we'd normally recommend, say, 60 to 90 second rest break between sets, and then completing the next set. What we suggest when you're starting out, it's going to be difficult, but what you want is, if you're going for 8 reps, you want your 7th and 8th rep to be a real struggle to get out. So what that is it's called basically going to failure. You want your last reps of each set to basically be as much as you can do, and that's generally how you're going to work out how much weight you should be lifting. So just make sure you're not frightened of the weight room or anything like that. It's for everyone. And once you get past those first few training sessions, you'll find that things do get a lot easier. And once you start getting the movements right, everything sort of comes naturally from there. So thanks for joining us to this weight training for beginners video today. And make sure you like and subscribe our channel.